Embarrassing. Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. This is our NFL Week 2 recap. We haven't done a video in a week. We should have recorded after that Packers and Commanders game. We did not. But I would say Week 1 of the NFL season was a lot more exciting to me than Week 2. I mean, we had some great games, some high scoring games, but I feel like I don't know. It wasn't as exciting to me personally as Week 1. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like the video, share the video, and follow us on our social media platforms up at the top of the screen. It really helps us really gain in the algorithm. We just had 1,600 followers, so I appreciate that. I actually want to fast track this thing to like 2,000 pretty quickly here. Well, we got to do the work, which we haven't really been doing. But we are with you guys after the Falcons beat the Vikings in Sunday Night Football. Wasn't nearly as exciting as the Sunday Night Football game we got last week against the Bills and Ravens. But it was a cool storyline going into it with Michael Penix and JJ McCarthy facing off in the rematch after McCarthy and Michigan beat Washington in the national championship a few years back. So I feel like it was a decent storyline, and I think both of the teams are decent to good, are like going to be competing for playoffs. So it was a good matchup, but like in theory, but it didn't live up to the hype at all. It was pretty boring to me, honestly. Max, you got something to say? You look like you have something to say.
No, it was a field goal off. I mean, both teams the quarterbacks are super inexperienced. Obviously, Penix started a couple games last year. JJ started this year. But, I mean, you just saw that. It was just execution in the red zone. That's fine. Tyler Algier touchdown. Like, who cares? This game had no interest or draw for me besides it just being an NFL game. I disagree on your take. I think that there was overall, like, games this week, I think it was more games with teams that didn't really matter in the long run, or it's not like a Ravens-Bills game, right? Like the Broncos and Colts are not those two kind of teams, but that was a good game. The Cowboys and Giants was a good game. The Bengals and the Jags was a tight game. Like there was a lot of like fun games to watch from an unbiased perspective. The Panthers almost came back and won in the fourth quarter. But yeah, it wasn't much besides the Chiefs and Eagles game, and that was the slowest one of the day probably. But it wasn't a lot of like high caliber matchups, but still good games nonetheless.
Yeah, and also the Chiefs and Eagles game didn't live up to like the hype of it being a Super Bowl rematch whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Very low scoring, a defensive chess match. It did kind of come down to the end, but the Eagles are able to push their way to victory. Literally. We'll talk about that when we get to that game. But we're gonna start off with the Sunday Night Football game. Penix and the Falcons win rematch of the College Football Championship versus McCarthy and the Vikings. It was not a high scoring game whatsoever. I think the Falcons dominated the game. Honestly, I think they did. But that's all I'll say, and I'll let you guys get into it before I say my spiel. Q, what was your takeaway from this game from Sunday Night Football? The Vikings won last week against the Bears. They come in this game, and their offense continues to struggle. Their offense struggled for the first 3 quarters of that Bears game, and then they got some momentum in that fourth quarter. But this time, they weren't able to do so. I know you had the Packers winning the division, but what do you think of the Vikings, who were second in the division last year? Got JJ McCarthy this year after moving off Sam Darnold. What has been your impression of them through 2 weeks in this game? And then talk about what you saw from Atlanta.
From the Vikings perspective, this was like they had growing pains. They knew they would have to go through growing pains because JJ McCarthy obviously is a rookie. He wasn't asked to do a lot in college, so he didn't get to put like a lot of things on tape per se. So you don't really know what you're getting from him because he was so like watered down, so to speak, in terms of like play calling and whatnot. And you see it in this game and the last game, just a lot of inexperience, trouble in the pocket, trouble sensing pressure, when to throw, how to throw, velocity, when to lift, like certain things he doesn't have a feel for yet. I'm not saying he won't get a feel, but they have to just go through the motions. They have to beat the good teams, and when it comes to they have to beat the bad teams. When it comes to mid tier to good teams, they have to play perfect, especially on defense. The defense should basically kept them in the game all game. So JJ couldn't capitalize. He missed throws. They got heavily penalized. A lot of pressure. O-line wasn't holding up, even though they heavily invested in it. They paid 2 guys and drafted a tackle. Obviously, Christian Darrisaw is not there, but I don't, like you said in Discord, I don't think losing one guy should just automatically destroy your O-line in a sense. You should have competent pieces just to be average. I think it's gonna be kind of a long season for them. JJ's young, so he has a chance for that the exponential growth through the season. But this is a win now roster, and I don't know how many times they could get into games like this before your veterans and stuff they start feeling some type of way, because this was a 14 win team last year. But that's the choice you take when you let Sam Darnold go and you opt for the younger quarterback, which I would have did anyway, because he's cheap. He has a chance to potentially be better, and you could build a roster around him. But you also have to take the good with the bad, and the bad is he's just not experienced yet. For Atlanta, they could have capitalized on third down. They looked good pretty much the whole game. They got a lot of pressure on the Vikings. They did heavily invest at edge rusher with their 2 draft picks and Leonard Floyd, so they do have a semblance of a pass rush. That's pretty much all they needed. And then with those offensive pieces, you got Bijan Robinson, who could be the offensive player of the year. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, who had a good showing. They have the pieces to be a very good team later on. Obviously, they'll be fighting for a playoff spot. Would be good. Couldn't challenge the Bucs for division, but this is really a JJ McCarthy story, not really an Atlanta story. Good win for them, though.
Same thing. I think it's literally just people gotta cool the brakes on JJ. I think I see and I hear stuff about how great of a comeback win was against the Bears, and I understand. We talk about it. I think the Bears lost that game more than JJ won that game, and I think we kind of see that today, where again, a new team, a new system, the same issues happen, right? Again, it's his second NFL game, so I think people got to pump the brakes. No, it's going to take a big learning curve. I think he shows these flashes that he can be a good pocket passer, have good pressure, be able to handle pressure well. But today, I just felt like the blitz, whatever pass rush they gave to him, he was not able to handle it all. So I agree with Q in the same vein that I think that Atlanta is going to be a solid team. I do question, though, Michael Penix sometimes. Again, he's young as well, but just some of the overthrows, the team could be so much better. Obviously, he was more consistent with some of those, but luckily they're in a division where if they can go out and beat Tampa again, losing that first game is tough. If they can win their division, they're fine. So they need to handle the teams they can handle. The defense looks better. Again, Drake London fumbled today. There's little stuff like that. Bijan played super well without a touchdown. When you're kind of gelling like that, the O-line's good, you're fine. But Penix has got to be more consistent against the better teams. And Brian Flores just put out a good defense. He just couldn't capitalize at the end. I think that this team is, we saw it last week, is neck and neck with Tampa in those kind of close games. They just need to put that together for an entire season to really try and compete for the division. But
to be blunt, McCarthy has looked like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league through his first 2 games, outside of one quarter. Outside of one quarter against the lowly Bears, and not even trying to joke. Not even trying to joke. The Bears defense does not look good whatsoever right now. And outside of one quarter against the Bears, he has looked terrible. He looks like a raw quarterback, and usually raw quarterbacks are the ones that have the extreme tools and the extreme upside. And I don't feel that way about McCarthy whatsoever. I don't think he's a great athlete. I don't think he has great arm strength. I don't think he has great tools as a quarterback whatsoever. I think he can be a solid starting quarterback, a good starting quarterback, but he looks like someone that doesn't. He looks like someone that didn't throw a lot of passes in college, which he didn't. He looks like a quarterback that's still trying to improve his pocket presence and still trying to learn how to progress through reads proficiently. And he looks like he's a quarterback that just needs a lot more reps. And he does need a lot more reps because he's on obviously his second NFL start. So I'm not going to be too harsh on him just because, one, he's in his second start, and 2, their best offensive lineman, one of the better ones in the league, is out. They're playing with a second-string center, and Jordan Addison who is obviously a very good wide receiver too, is suspended. But I'm not that high on McCarthy whatsoever. I never was, and he hasn't shown me much through these 2 games for that opinion to change. Not that it would change in 2 games, but I think the Vikings offense has a real chance of struggling throughout the year if he doesn't pick it up. Um, I think we saw the work that Kevin O'Connell did with Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins, and I think coming into the year we just thought like, oh, um, the Vikings should be fine because Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, which that's definitely going to help. But McCarthy is very raw, so it's probably going to take a minute for them to have the level of success they had last year. And I really don't think so. I really don't think they are, honestly. Like being in that close of a game with the Bears, who are terrible, is not a good sign whatsoever. Losing to the Falcons, who I think is a decent team, not a good sign whatsoever. Things will be better when Darisaw comes back, and things will be better when Jordan Addison comes back. But with the schedule that they have and McCarthy being a first-year quarterback, they are in real danger, I think, of missing the playoffs. What else do I want to add? Oh, a big part of that is that they haven't been able to get their running game going consistently whatsoever. It popped off at the end of the Bears game, and it has some moments tonight, but their running game has not been great whatsoever, and that's going to be very important for a first-year quarterback. Part of that is not having Darisaw. Part of that, I think Aaron Jones has regressed. He also got injured tonight. He doesn't have that much juice to me. Jordan Mason has looked like he had much more juice in the running game than Aaron Jones so far this season. So it's not time to hit the panic button for the Vikings whatsoever. But I am watching. Like their offense has looked terrible this year. It simply has. Through like his first 15 dropbacks, McCarthy had 5 sacks. That's not all. That's not all on the offense line, and their offense line is bad right now. That's not all on the offense line. He had I think 3 or 4 turnover where he plays. He actually did throw an interception, and he fumbled the ball.
He threw 2.
He made the Falcons defense look a lot better than what I think it is. I'm not that high on that pass rush whatsoever. Jalen Walker and Pierce look good tonight. But I think that just speaks more about the Vikings offensive line than their pass rush. Because from my memory, they weren't really causing havoc against the Buccaneers.
They weren't getting sacks.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Baker Mayfield, more experienced quarterback, better offensive line, and their weapons are good. He gets the ball faster, so like that. He's a better player than McCarthy. But I would say, though, it's an encouraging sign for them, for Jalen Walker and Pierce and Calais Campbell to have the night that they had today. So that's a good sign for them. As far as the Falcons, I think they dominated this game. I think the game was not as close as the box score portrays, and they won a game. Well, last time I checked, we did start before the game was over.
No, they won.
I know they won, but let me see the score.
It was like 22-6. Yeah, 22-6.
Okay, 2026. That looks like it's like a blowout. Well, it doesn't look like it's a blowout, but I feel like they controlled this game. Have they credit to Brian Flores and the defense, because every time they were in a bad position, they stepped up. They got to stop on 30 down, or they got a sack. They played great situational football today, and they gave their offense the best chance possible to win this game. For the Falcons, the running game was really, really good. Bijan looked great in the passing game and the running game. I think Penix looked good. I think he's looked good this year. He makes really quick decisions. He's been really good as a passer. Hasn't been able to connect on the biggest plays consistently so far this year, but I like their weapons, and I think Kyle Pitts looked good at times this year. So I'm not really worried about the Falcons offense. I just think their defense is going to be what makes or breaks them this year, obviously, if they're able to rush the passer. Not I like AJ Terrell, but outside of that, I don't like the cornerback too. Obviously, their safety situation is good. But it's pretty much going to be how they're able to stop the run, how they're able to get to the passer. So you could argue that they should be 2-0 right now. Koo missed a field goal to losing the game last game. But the Falcons are going to be a decent team. They have a weapons on offense, and their defense can play like they did tonight, then they'll be a scary team. Not a scary team, but a team to watch in the NFC. That's pretty much all I had to say about the game. McCarthy he looks awful so far. Maybe being a little bit harsh on him, but I did give him the context of the situation that he's in right now. But I'm not high on him, so I'm not. I mean, like it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take more for him to move me than basically what I'm seeing. But yeah, move on. The Eagles beat the Chiefs again in their Super Bowl rematch. I think this is the third straight time they beat them. I think it is.
Yeah, the thing the it's not the same team, and like that was like that second matchup that was like 2 years ago. To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah. Okay, Chiefs. I'll start. I mean, I'm the Patrick Mahomes guy. Get my shit off real quick. I mean, I think the correct take is to be very concerned about the Chiefs right now. Like in terms of them winning Super Bowl, I can't see it this year. I know we're week 2. It's gonna sound like I'm overreacting, but I do not think the Chiefs are in a position to win a Super Bowl this year. They have too many holes. Um, like obviously the offense should look better when Xavier Worthy comes back from injury, when Rashee Rice comes back from injury. So they still have the benefit of doubt of that. But this team does not have a running game. It's awful. Mahomes has been the leading rusher for the past 2 weeks. And they don't have the running game because their backs are not good. And also, parts of their offensive line is just not good. The right side of their offensive line is not good. Jawan Taylor is awful. Not so they don't have a running game. Mahomes' deep ball is bad. It's been bad for years now. In all honesty, I think Tyreek Hill was doing much of the heavy lifting with his deep ball because when we look back at those things, a lot of it was underthrows where Tyreek Hill was just making the play, tracking the ball. His deep ball accuracy has been bad over these last few years, and it's been bad this season. But I'm gonna give their offense the benefit of the doubt because they do have Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy should help them. And then having Hollywood Brown as your wide receiver 3, Travis Kelce as an option still, your offense should be still good. But their right side of their offense line, not great. Travis Kelce is clearly regressing. He's on the way out. Um, Isaiah Pacheco is bad. Kareem Hunt is only good situationally. Um, the defense, I'm not like I can't be that high on the defense because I think that was more so the Eagles' offense just being like out of like their offense hasn't been good. Outside of like after the second half of that Cowboys game, offense has been bad. Like I'll get to that in my next segment. But as far as the Chiefs though, like I don't see it this year, and it's gonna get called an overreaction because it's week 2. But
you still think they can make the playoffs?
yes, they're gonna make the playoffs, but they're in danger of not winning the division, and I do think they're not gonna win the Super Bowl this year. And that's not even like a hot take. I mean, they can't win. They
How
can't
many
win
wins
every
do you think they need? How many wins do you think they need to make the playoffs?
like 10.
Can you count 10? Can you count 10 wins on the schedule right now?
Yeah, I think I can. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I can. I can. I can. It was a
I know I count 11. Like I think they need 11, and I think they can get to 11, but they don't have. They have a small cushion.
Yeah, definitely starting 0-2. I think I said this in the chat today. I think they're going to start 2-4 to begin the first 6 games of the season. At the
Who
line,
else
I
they
feel
lose
like
to? Detroit?
yes,
Who else they lose to? Detroit?
yes. Lions offense. I mean, again, it's the Bears, but the Lions offense still looks pretty high powered. I mean, week 1 they didn't look good. Michael Parsons right that game, and Jordan Love was having his way. But I don't necessarily know if the Chiefs can score on them for sure, but I think that game is probably likely going to be a shootout. Honestly, is what I'm thinking. We'll see, but I will have them losing that game to the Lions as of right now, at least. Um, So yeah, I think they're going to start the season 2-4, and that's when it's going to be really time to evaluate the season. But the cornerback 2 situation not good. Linebacker situation it's up in the air. I mean, Bowden is good sometimes, other times he's not. They got pressure today because they all out blitz pretty much. But their pass rush, I think, is still a issue when actual quarterback can hurt them in the passing game. Not to say Jalen Hurts is not an actual quarterback. That's not crazy. But as far as the Eagles, their offense, the Eagles' offense is reminding me of 2023 right now. It looks like they just got a new coordinator, which they did, and he's struggling with play calling. Their play calling has not been good this year whatsoever. Their receivers aren't creating a lot of separation, I don't think, whatsoever. And it's really hurting their passing game. Now, Jalen Hurts is still struggling with the blitz. That's why Spags blitzed him so much in this game, because he knows it's his weak point. Or I'm sorry, against pressure, because that's going to get misconstrued. But anyways, he still struggles against pressure, which is why Spags blitz him so much in this game. But their play calling is bad right now. It is, and their new offensive coordinator is going to have to prove himself. Or this season can look similar to 2023. I do think their roster is better overall than 2023. You got Saquon Barkley. The defense should be better. But if it doesn't improve, their season is going to end like it did in 2023. They're going to be good through regular season, through the first 11 weeks of the season, whatever. But when it comes to the playoff time, they may crumble. That's all I got to say right now about the Eagles. What do we take from the Super Bowl rematch?
I just think, I mean, both these teams obviously have championship pedigree to them right now. Both of them are kind of on this hangover, I guess. KC now 2 years removed. Philly now, you have a significant amount of movement on their team. Just a bunch of young guys in the secondary. I think the offense has gone through their issues for a long time. I think I would not be surprised if we see another classic. AJ Brown gets mad on the ball more, or Nick Sirianni beefs with Jalen Hurts or something. But both these two teams have very, very tough schedules coming up. And a lot of these games can't be taken lightly, obviously. I agree, Latif. I think that since that second half of Dallas's game, they put up a lot in the first, and then it seems to be stagnant. So, again, they won this game, but they didn't win this game by a high-powered, flashy offense or really dominating much. It was just dominating time of possession. They were able to hold the ball longer, it felt like. Pat Mahomes, he missed the one to Tyquan Thornton a few plays before he hit the one to Tyquan Thornton. And some of those just, you need time. So hitting that before, it just, I mean, Kelsey drops even if he drops the ball on the ground, like, no, he dropped the ball into someone else's hands for an interception. Just super costly mistakes. But again, I'm not going to count the Chiefs out 100%, but definitely is worrisome, I think, with the issues they have going on right now. The injuries are stacking up, and I don't think that this team is obviously its final product right now without Worthy and without Rashee Rice. But I mean, yeah, the offense does not look like a Pat Mahomes offense sometimes, but you have to give Pat Mahomes the benefit of the doubt. So I think their defense, again, still has some of their studs to make plays, to put a good unit together. They have Spags, like, they have issues, but I think that will get sorted out as the year goes on. Will it be an elite unit? I don't think so, but again, it has times where it could be very, very good. So I'm very curious to see it play out, but I agree. I think it's more the two games are in the past now. Now you got to beat up on, I don't even know. They have the Browns
Giants.
coming up, I think. Oh, the Giants are next week. I know it was a bad team. But I think that you have a couple very winnable games. Hopefully some get right games before you then have Detroit coming up too. So again, if I'm like, I'd be lying if I said that this Chiefs team definitely is not as intimidating as ones in the past. I'm not going to count them out because it is Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. But both these teams definitely have big question marks going forward.
Andy Reid might be losing his sauce. I'm not gonna lie, honestly, a little bit.
No.
Tough thing to
If
say.
anybody's to blame, it's Brett for the what's going on is Brett Veach. For the Chiefs, 0-2 is not a death knell for them. I think they could reel off 8 of the next 11 and be right back in it. probably won't win the division just because the Chargers most likely probably could have a strong hold on it, like probably by week 5. Uh, the deep ball situation, you are right, it has been off, but also he hasn't had time with these deep wide receivers, like these deep threats. He doesn't have no time to gel with them. They always hurt, or like they're rookies or whatever the case may be. Tyquan Thornton just got to the team, so he doesn't have a chance to like really gel with these receivers and get timing on. We've seen him hit Tyquan Thornton. He'll go to him again and again until he figures out when and how to throw it. But this is not the year. Like it's not the year or the roster to like trying things out and practicing because you just don't got that kind of juice on the roster. In terms of the Eagles, I don't think their offense was good at all. That first half of the Cowboy game, the offense wasn't good. Jalen Hurts was just taking running lanes and making it happen. Uh, if you expect them to do that every game, then you're in for a long season. You shouldn't be having 101 passing yards with the top 5 wide receiver duo in the league. That shouldn't happen. 2023 all over again, new OC. Obviously, after a Super Bowl run, you lose a bunch of pieces on both sides of the ball, mostly on defense, some on offense in terms of like O linemen and things like that. Also dealing with some minor injuries and things. They're probably still going to reel off a lot of wins, but I don't think neither of these teams can win the Super Bowl this year based on what they look like right now. Like you said, a team that can throw the ball can beat the Eagles. We'll see what that look like come later on. I don't have one at the top of my head. I know like the Rams are fully healthy. They're the only ones that probably I think for sure can like proven that they can actually go wire to wire with them in a playoff game. Other than that, yeah, probably nobody else. Maybe the Packers. Maybe depend on what they look like. Come later on in the season if they get more consistent on offense. Obviously, the defense as of right now looks stacked. Obviously, they dominate 2 of the best offenses that were like here last year. Obviously, Jordan Love, he hasn't played his best against the Eagles. That's due to them having a great defense. But like I said, they lost a lot of pieces on that side of the ball, so it might be an easier time going around. Who knows? But those are only teams I think can beat them. But if they go to the Super Bowl, they're probably going to face the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I think either one of those teams can put up a fight and beat the Eagles currently how they playing right now. Obviously, I said I'm not down the Eagles. I just think they need time to gel because everybody's so young. So, like, this defense won't be real until, like, week 8, 9, 10 when everything's, starting to click. I just need the offense to catch up. And I said that before the season started that the passing game has to catch up. They can't just rely on Saquon Barkley. Again, that's too much of a load for him to carry. And it's already starting out that he's not even having, like, he hasn't been off to the greatest start anyway. So, this little sketchy, but obviously they have a great talent. They have a bunch of talent, so they should win the games. Both these teams are not living up to expectations or we thought they were going to be coming into the league.
Yeah, I mean, pretty underwhelming Super Bowl rematch today, but we'll see. I'm not giving a red alert on. Well, I mean, last time I said the Chiefs weren't winning the Super Bowl, like they didn't win the Super Bowl. So I mean, they got there, but they didn't win it. So let's move on. Lions dominate the Bears in Ben Johnson's return to Detroit. Max, you gotta give me something. Like I don't know what's going on right now.
I said,
hold on, we get there. The Lions won 52-21. Intentionally ran up the score, I believe. I think that
they could. In all honesty, they could have put up more. So they could have put up more.
I'm blanking. Why?
What?
Coach Lions Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. He was trying to make a statement today, and he definitely made one. Let me reference my notes here because I do have questions to ask my boy Max about his Bears. First question, Max. And I know it's pretty hard to talk about sometimes with the Bears. My bad. Who deserves the most blame for the Bears' start to the season? Just focus on this game, though. Who deserves the most blame for this game? On the Bears, Max.
I feel like the more I'm seeing about it, the more I'm looking. I'm probably blaming Ryan Poles and just the consistent mismanagement of the franchise for the past. I mean, you give me how many years? I'm not blaming it on Ben. I'm not blaming it on Caleb because at the same time they got bright spots. I think honestly the play calling for Ben has been solid at times. It just doesn't match up to Caleb being able to execute that. And I think that, again, who put the marriage of Ben and Caleb together is Ryan. So, again, I don't necessarily blame them for not working well together right now. They're still trying to feel out the system and everything. I do think Caleb still has all the talent in the world. It's getting tougher and tougher to put it together on this week-to-week basis. So, like, in all honesty, I said it last week. Like, this is where I don't care anymore. Like, I'm not watching this. Like, I'm just not. I don't get like. There's nothing to watch. Like, it's the same product over and over again. You get a new coach, you get new whatever. It's the same thing. Same opponent, different opponent, doesn't matter. It is like constant mismanagement, whatever it might be, whether it's roster construction, whether it's gameplay, like it doesn't matter. So I think this game as a whole, Detroit was getting shit talked all week. They were washed. They're done. Packers are far better. And with the bulletin board material that Ben Johnson was giving them, it was definitely a bad omen coming into this game. Detroit handled business. To be honest, like in the first part of the game, our offense was rolling. It looked pretty good. Rome was the best highlight of this game. Rome had a very good game. The Rome and Caleb connection really worked today. But, I mean, our defense, like, couldn't stop anything. Running the football, passing the football, it didn't seem like Dennis Allen had any way to stop that offense on Detroit today. So, again, I think it wasn't just short passes. It wasn't long passes. It wasn't like just the run. It was everything. Again, everyone on the Lions ate today, and I felt like the Bears had nothing to stop it with all their starters back. So, I mean, on the offensive side, there were some pluses, but then it just got stagnant and it died. And the pick was bad. The fumble was bad. But
why do you blame Ryan Poles? Like, what do you think he did wrong?
It's just been years of doing stuff wrong at this point in time. Like, literally, it is the same thing over and over again. There's been one consistent thing since since Ryan Poles got here. It's been the same product over and over again. That's where I'm blaming Ryan Poles.
But he can't go out there and play for them. So he can't go out there and actually play. Like he can't go out there and he can't go out there and make the game plan. He can't go out there and play.
You asked me to blame someone. I'm blaming Ryan Poles again. We look at draft picks. We can look at draft picks. Who we selected in last year's draft. Obviously, he's not worth it right now.
I like how I'm asking you. I'm not disagreeing with you, Max. I'm asking you to explain what you think he did wrong.
I don't know what else you want me to tell you. I think I've been trying to say it like 3 or 4 times now where, again, it literally, if it is throwing different things at the wall, and again, it's not an offensive coach, it's not a defensive coach, it just seems like a whole organizational thing at this point in time. It like literally is just anything that can't. That's what I'm not gonna blame the owner. Owner died last year.
You're not like, no. You blame the. Nobody has a problem blaming Jerry Jones. You can blame your organization for failing.
And that's what I'm saying. Ryan Poles right now is at the forefront of my organization, being the GM.
No.
Okay.
No.
What does he do? What did he do wrong? Is my question though. What did he do wrong?
Yeah, I'm answering that question.
I guess he's been perfect.
Did he make a wrong?
I'm not saying he's been perfect. I know he's did wrong. I'm asking you to explain what you think he did wrong.
Did he make a bad pick? Did he make a bad hire? Did he make a bad trade?
I've been trying to talk about this. I've literally just said I saw a video today about it where he was clowning Drake May in the draft process. Clowning him for saying he's a terrible person, trying to get everyone against him. Obviously, he didn't see something that the rest of the world did. Like, and again, it's not seeing that he's a top 3 talent in that class, at least clowning him as if he's bad. Like, you're the GM of an NFL team and you don't have anyone in your ear telling you that, whatever. I was just saying with our draft picks this year, again, we have glaring holes and multiple sides. Again, the one, like, I think Rome played well. I think he was catching passes, like he was open. I actually like our O-line. Our O-line has been giving a lot of time to Caleb, but the pre-snap penalties and the holding calls are killing us on those. And it just seems like a discipline thing with that.
Ryan Poles don't got nothing to do with that.
But I'm just like, even on the defensive side, again, our offensive picks. We spent late round picks on, like, it's fun to get Luther Burden, but it's like Luther Burden's had 1 catch in 2 games. And it's just like we obviously could have used more defensive help because we have injuries back there. Like, I just don't understand I don't know. It's been years and years of like getting hyped up over stuff that obviously clearly doesn't work. So
now, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you, Max. I just don't think you did a great job explaining why.
Fine. Like, I'm to a point right now where I don't care about this. Like, this season is like The only thing I'm looking at is watching Caleb hopefully progress. Like,
It's okay.
but it's been week 30 now. It's been back-to-back years of the same shit, and we're just getting it restarted right back up again.
It's been 3 straight off seasons of the Bears winning the off season, and we getting to the season, and they're not mattering whatsoever. They've had talented teams on paper. Like they've had a good collection of talent on paper. It just hasn't manifested so far, at least, in any type of on-field success. And I think that's pretty perplexing. They extended Ryan Poles based off of those some of those moves that has been good moves in theory. But he has been, I think, a relatively inconsistent GM for sure in terms of the actual outcomes of his move. Like he's done a great job of getting access draft capital, but hasn't always made the best picks with that draft capital. And obviously, we go back a few years. I'm blanking on his name. The trade from the Steelers, they gave him a second round pick.
Chase Claypool.
The Chase Claypool move comes to your head as something that was terrible. Max mentioned it earlier. They kind of did over-index on offensive talent in this last draft. They already had DJ Moore. They already had Roma Dunze. So I don't necessarily know that they needed a Luther Braden, or I don't necessarily know they needed Colston Loveland. If they could have got an actual game changer on defense, obviously it's hard to draft that as a rookie, but trying to go and get like a pass rusher on defense would have definitely helped the team. I think they can use they can use another piece in that secondary as well. They don't have a game changer on defense whatsoever on this team, like not even close. Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Jalen Johnson's an elite quarterback in the NFL, but
I don't think he's a game changer though. He's not a game changer.
I guess, but I think Jalen Johnson is very good.
I think it's pretty hard for a cornerback to be in general to be a game changer. But
he is not PS2 level
like
elite.
The best corner in the league.
Yeah, unless you're like the best corner in the league,
I'm saying he's not PS2 level. I think he's a very, very good corner, but I agree it's tough for him to be a game changer.
He was getting cooked today, but like Ryan Poles, he has not. I don't think he earned that extension. I don't necessarily know why they gave him that. And the story about Drake May and Jaden Daniels in the draft process is actually very alarming, and it just continues what we heard from the Bears of being one of the worst ran organizations in the NFL. Constant dysfunction, constant terrible decisions. And if that story is true about Caleb's rookie season and the pre-draft process, that's just a terrible look. It's a terrible look. And Caleb didn't even want to get drafted by the Bears. We all know this. He said it. He didn't want to get drafted by the Bears because of the dysfunction that they've had in the past. And they've only continued that to the beginning of his career with the Bears. And part of that is on him. And part of that is on the organization. I think highly of Ben Johnson. I think he's called like good plays so far. Caleb accuracy is terrible. His footwork because of his footwork, his accuracy is terrible. But his footwork is terrible. His pocket presence is still not good. His decision making is still not good. He's in year 2, game 2. I think Caleb will be fine. I think Caleb isn't the problem right now, at least. I don't think he was the problem today. The problem was the defense. The defense is not good because they don't have a game changer on defense, and they don't have like a consistent pass rush at all. And they have some injuries as well. But yeah, man, I don't think the Bears season is completely over, but I think you have to like get like 7 to 8 wins this year at least. Like that's what you should be hoping for. And you should be hoping for Caleb to improve and get some like a winning culture in this organization by any means necessary. But yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Not vetting Drake May and just shitting on him throughout a film session is ridiculous. It's arrogant. it's not doing your job, and not giving Jaden Daniels any thought process whatsoever is also arrogant and not doing your job. It's one thing to know you have your guy, but it's another thing to just not do the work whatsoever and to just like shit on someone and bully them. That's a really bad look. If that's true, which I do think is true because it's the Bears. Why wouldn't it be true? Tyler Doon is a very well respected reporter that's just not out here lying. Max, I don't know if you actually read the article. It's pretty bad.
Skim through. No. I did not read the whole. In depth. I should. So
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I follow him on Substack after that at least. Um, not a great start to the Bears, but to the Bears season so far. I don't know if the Packers are just that good or the Bears just that bad, but it's probably somewhere in between. I'm saying that
oh, you're
because
saying around
the Bears
Detroit.
dominate the Lions, and then the Lions dominate the Bears. Yeah. Um, Q, thoughts on the Lions dominating the Bears start to the year. Um, do the Lions got their mojo back? Talk to me.
I think a lot of this game had to do with Dan Campbell trying to show that like he wasn't just coordinator made. Uh, Same thing with Johnny. I think his name John Morton, the new OC. After the first game, everybody it was pretty much time to rag on the Lions. You know, Dan Campbell needs his coordinators. John Morton, whatever, 50 years old OC, never really got a chance. That's why it probably looked bad. They probably tried to make a statement. They probably, they want to like show that they could do this thing, and they got the talent to do it. In terms of the Bears, just the same way people talk about the Cowboys, they should talk about the Bears just like that too. It's just organizationally, historically, top. Starts at the top. Uh, I wouldn't blame Ryan Poles as a whole because it's still an organization and thing. Like he's had misses, but every GM has had misses. He's done the right things. Like sometimes just hit wrong. Like the right thing to do was to trade the first round pick and get DJ Moore and a bunch of other picks. That was the right move. Uh, and we could all talk in hindsight because hindsight is 2020. But you get the number one pick, 9 times out of 10, you were taking Caleb Williams. Like that's it's a sound like a hot take today, but we all know if any team had the number one pick outside of the Commanders, they're probably taking Caleb Williams if they had the number one pick. So that's just what it was. But obviously, based off the speculative reporting, even though I do believe a lot of what Tyler Dunn said because I understand who Tyler Dunn is. If he was doing that, Brian Poles was moving like that inside them rooms, he's crazy for that. Too cocky, came from the Chiefs, so he knows what he's talking about. Was there with Mahomes, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. The Commanders had the second pick. They knew they were going Jaden Daniels no matter what, but Adam Peters still brought in Bo Nix. He still brought in JJ. He still brought in Michael Penix. They were all in the building. They all mingled the center there. He did his homework and he still went with Jaden Daniels, but you still got to be professional. A lot of times when organizations are bad and things are continuously bad, they're just not professionals, and this is not looking like a professional operation right now. In terms of Ben Johnson, obviously he's a great play caller. Maybe he's too rigid in his. I want Caleb to play like this. How when coaches want the quarterback to fit their play style instead of changing the playbook to fit the quarterback. Maybe there's a lot of that going on. But Caleb still has looked okay. He's looked sharp at times. This game, particularly in the first half, he didn't look bad. He had that one bad pick, but he still looked good. Still was able to move the ball. Same thing, kind of in the first half last season. He just hasn't put it together fully, and maybe that's part to do with still being young, being in a new system and whatnot. But they gotta like put it together. Like I said, it starts from the top down. There's not a lot. There's like a bunch of people to get blamed. Like between Caleb gets some blame, but again, he's a young quarterback. I don't think Ben Johnson gets some blame because he just got there. Ryan Poles gets blamed for the things his misses, but you also empowered Ryan Poles. Same thing with the dude from the NCAA that's also like the president of the Bears. Like he's also had his whiffs on who he's paying, giving out extensions. It's just a whole cluster of nonsense going on in that building. So they gotta quickly turn around. They have time. It's still week 2, but it doesn't. You still got to uphill battle to climb. And again, Caleb is not development at the rate that you would think for a number one overall pick for you to have all these type of problems.
I would say one thing I would say, like, I don't even think it's a system. Like, I don't think that Caleb problem is reading the field and identifying what's open. I think he does a pretty good job of that. I think he does a pretty good job of like stuff pre-snap as well. His problem is accuracy. It's like his accuracy is like throwing in tight windows, overthrowing players. He does that a lot. I think in terms of like making plays outside the pocket and identifying what's open, he can do that. He has to clean up his mechanics so that he can play on time and actually hit receivers accurately. I think that he's fine playing in the system. I think he can do that. All he needs to do, really, for me at least, is just like be more accurate. And once he gets that part, he'll be fine. Like he'll be a good quarterback. Maybe not generational, what we think. And yeah, it has been rumored that he has struggled like learning some of the offense and learning some of the plays. But when he's out there, he it looks like to me that he's not Justin Fields where he's just missing like reads right in front of him, missing reads in the middle of the field. He's been able to identify open receivers. He just hasn't always been able to hit them like on target. So again, I think Caleb will be fine, and I think the Bears eventually will be fine. Maybe not this year, but they got an outline of a good team. I think they do. They have an outline of a good team. Is it certain places they just need to be better at? Pass rush, CB2.
You can call me crazy. On the offense, I really think it's establishing a run game, so better running back.
Oh yeah,
But it's just
also
accuracy. Like it's like literally just accuracy and like getting that completion. Like I like our O-line, our tight ends are fine, our receivers are fine. I think establishing the run game helps it out, and that's what Ben Johnson does. But it's literally just accuracy on some of those throws. Caleb just needs to get that more often. That's it. So
go ahead, Max.
so I was thinking about it though. It also relates to someone in the next topic too. So I can wait or I can lead into it easily with that.
No, go ahead.
All right. I know blind rank. You know the 5 guys I'm going to say, but you guys are both GMs in the NFL, and out of the last 5 number 1 overall pick quarterbacks, not named Joe Burrow, so Kyler, T-Law, Bryce, Caleb, and Cam Ward, I need you to rank them 1 to 5 over who you'd want to be your franchise quarterback today, right now.
Okay, I got wait.
So, no Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's out. So 2019, Kyler. You got 2021, Trevor Lawrence. 23, Bryce. 24, Caleb. And 25,
Joe Burrow was 2020.
I'm saying he doesn't count. We're skipping him because obviously he's going to be 1. I'm going Kyler, Trevor, Bryce, Caleb, Cam.
Kyler.
Oh, God.
Kyler. I put Kyler at number 1. I'll put Trevor at number 2. I'll put Cam Ward at number 3. Caleb Williams at number 4. And Bryce Young at number 5. I'm not gonna lie.
I have the same exact order. It wouldn't have taken me that long. But
I think it's interesting.
Bryce Young is not good.
Huh? No, I'm not gonna fight for it. Cam had a throw today. Cam's little crossbody throw today was nice.
That should have been picked. Huh? It should have been picked. But,
touchdown nonetheless.
Yeah, Bryce Young is not good. I'm not gonna lie, he's not good.
Cam Ward got drilled and still made that throw.
He was good today.
He was.
300 yards.
He wasn't.
Right.
He wasn't. No, he
wasn't.
But yeah, that's probably the 5 I would do it in. We're gonna talk about Trevor Lawrence too. In his next.
That's why I was gonna wait, but it's all right.
All right, I spelled that wrong. The Joe Burrow-less Bengals escape with a win over the Jaguars. My question is, what is your panic meter with the Bengals season so far?
Did you have them going to the playoffs, Q?
No.
So do you want me to go first because I'm in the playoffs?
Go ahead.
Panic meter.
This is like a 8.5 or a 9. Turf toe is no joke. Turf toe always lingers, it feels like, especially when you need surgery. Jake Browning pushed this team to a win, but that's not going to happen, I think, for the future of keeping up with it. I don't think he's able to keep up with it. I apologize. I think they have a tough schedule too. I'm pretty sure when we did our schedule rankings, they have a tough schedule, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt because their quarterback was Joe Burrow. Their defense sucks. Their O line's not good. It's really just you got some skilled players, and you had Joe Burrow, and that was going to carry you to the promised land of the playoffs and probably lose in the first round. But I mean, Jake Browning went out there and beat the Jags. Great. That's about it. I think as far as like fantasy stuff, like yeah, Jake Browning will get the ball to everyone at school. But winning physical football games, I don't think this team, again, depending on how long Joe Burrow is out for, but even with the turf toe injury, if he needs surgery, even worse. But that lingers, that always sticks. So I don't think that this team is a playoff team anymore. I think they have a lot more tough divisional games coming up that, again, they just snuck out of the first one. So no Joe Burrow, no defense. I get you got Trey Hendrickson, but defense still has question marks. I don't trust this team to push towards the playoffs at all. I think they're, again, granted, Joe Burrow is out for an extended period of time, more than a few games. I think this team's done.
I'm gonna go to.
I'm gonna say a 9 out of 10. The Bengals season is over. It's most likely that Burrow is gonna be out for 3 months, and the Bengals have done a terrible job. Well, no, I'm not gonna say terrible. That's no. The Bengals have done a terrible job building around Joe Burrow. They got him Jamar Chase. They got him T. Higgins. Yes, but the offensive line is still awful. The defense is still awful, and they could survive potentially the defense and the offensive line in terms of making the playoffs. Actually, that didn't make sense. They could survive the defense if the offensive line was good. You have to protect your investment. Joe Burrow is very injury prone, and that's not talked about enough. He gets injured almost every year, and it has a large part to do with not being able to protect him with his offensive line. A lot of his injuries come off of being sacked or being hit. And they haven't been able to protect him whatsoever. They drafted another D lineman, which I understand the defense was awful. Their pass rush wasn't good, or their run stopping wasn't good. But your investment is Joe Burrow, and you haven't been able to protect that investment whatsoever. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Haven't protected him whatsoever, and it's going to cost you your season, and you're likely going to miss the playoffs for 3 straight years. This is like the Andrew Luck situation if they weren't making the playoffs. It's that bad. So I would say the panic meter is a 9 out of 10. I think their season is over. Especially if Joe Burrow misses 3 months, obviously the season is over. I don't, unless they trade for a quarterback, which I don't know who that would be. Kirk Cousins, maybe, but they can't do that. He's making too much money. Yeah, probably not. So Q. Panic meter.
My panic meter specifically, obviously, is a 0 because I didn't have them making the playoffs anyway. The turning point for this team probably was 2021 when they decided to go for Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell. You pretty much had a top 3 tackle in the NFL, basically sitting right there in the draft. You already had T. Higgins on the roster, so you already had some semblance of a wide receiver 1-ish, which you were fine with as long as you're protected. You could pretty much throw the T and whoever else you draft in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. They did spend money on the defense when he was like a 2nd-year player. That's how they did, make the playoffs and make the Super Bowl and another AFC Championship game. But they didn't capitalize on that. Players get hurt, players leave in free agency. Trade off players, cut players because things are not that good, and then you're back to the same place again. No O line, no defense. Things get tough. Honestly, Joe Burrow's injury prone. You're right. It's kind of like the Andrew Luck situation. Andrew Luck still was dragging him to the playoffs. He was getting there no matter what. I'm not trying to shit on Joe Burrow or anything, but clearly this, it's not working. This model isn't working. They have to change up how they do things. Should have been investing in the O line. That's clearly what you have to invest in, especially if you're going to give out money to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, which I don't think they should have did. I think they should have moved off one, obviously move off T. Higgins, get a pick or two, and go back in the draft and reinvest into the offensive line. That's would have always been the smartest idea. Jake Browning, he's cool. he actually does have a winning, a better winning percentage than Joe Burrow the last couple years. I don't know how it's obviously it's kind of fluky. They won this game before just like that, like 2 years ago against the Jags with Jay Browning. But it's not sustainable. Their next five games consists of the Vikings defense, Denver defense, Packers defense, uh, Steelers, but it's still Jake Browning. So it's like Jake if Joe Burrow misses more than 6 weeks, obviously they're not making the playoffs. I expect them to miss more than 6 weeks. So again, the same they didn't do anything to make me think any different of them, and this just made it worse. Those when it rains it pours. Joe Burrow probably gonna axe out. Zach Taylor will get fired, like I said. Uh, no coach is gonna withstand losing like a losing season 3 years in a row. So they're gonna have a major overhaul once the whole season come around.
And let's talk about the Jags. The Jags lost this game. They haven't looked good this year at all. A lot of people thought their offense, well, I mean, even myself included, we thought their offense would look more high powered because they invested in offense. They got Travis Hunter as another weapon.
They got
He's
Liam Cohen.
Liam Cohen as well, exactly. So we thought their offense would look a lot better this year. And through 2 games, it looks bad, honestly. Trevor Lawrence looks very, very underwhelming. His accuracy has looked bad. His process has looked bad. He's turning the ball over. He has 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions through 2 games. He's completing like 57% of his passes. It's awful. So I'm not going to ask a panic meter question about them, but how do they turn this ship around? And we know Trevor Lawrence was tagged as a generational guy, which he definitely was. I'm not letting, and that's another thing. Before we get into it, I'm not letting anyone tell me that Trevor Lawrence wasn't generational. We don't have to do this hindsight thing because he isn't as good as he's supposed to be in a league. We're not going to go back and act like this guy wasn't generational. He was an amazing quarterback in college. He won a national championship as a true freshman. That shit just doesn't happen. And he was supremely talented. He was the prototypical quarterback. Like what, 6'5", 6'6", strong arm, strong, mobile. He could do literally everything. He was a flawless prospect almost. We don't have to go back and like do the hindsight thing with Trevor Lawrence. He was 100% generational quarterback. He just hasn't been working out in the league so far. Part of it is on the organization, and part of it is on him. Now this year, I can't really put it on the organization. I mean, it has been some drops. BTJ looked awful today, but he's been bad this year to start. What's been going on with Trevor Lawrence? What's been going on with the Jaguars offense, and how do they improve and compete for the division? We'll see what the Texans do tomorrow, but they could also just be 0-2 tomorrow and just be like they're still 1-1 or whatever. So, how do the Jaguars improve from here on out? What do we think of the Travis Hunter pick? How he's looking so far? Just talk to me about the Jags in general, Max.
I mean, the Travis Hunter pick, I think for a long time, everyone's questioning, like, is he actually going to be able to play both sides of the ball? I think he got like a pass breakup today. I thought he almost had a pick. To be honest, though, it's just like they have no choice but to be better offensively because their defense is not good. Like, they need to figure out the offense fast because their defense is not good in the slightest. So Trevor Lawrence, I don't even know what it is. If it's time, if it's just him going through his progressions, but like this entire team just seems way too out of sync. I think it might be Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. There was that clip where Liam Cohen was obviously trying to yell at him for something. He like shook him off. There obviously seems like some sort of dysfunction there, and I mean they really have no choice but to right the ship because their defense is going to do it for them. They couldn't stop Jake Browning today, so I really don't think that this team again.
Browning had 3 interceptions. Jake Browning had 3 interceptions.
But I'm saying, Jacob, he also had a drive down to win the game, correct or no?
Yeah, he did.
So I just again I was a believer in this team. I thought the Jags would be good. I had them. I think I had them win the division or making the playoffs. One of the two. I think I had them winning the division. And this team looks bad right now. This team looks very, very bad in their first 2 games. Even against Carolina in the first game, they should have. I think they could have scored more, done more. They kind of just got up and kept it. But yeah, I mean, this should have been a winnable game, especially when Joe Burrow went down. I think they have some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. but this team seems to lack every position group at time. Like their O-line is not great. They don't have great receivers sometimes because, again, you have Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball. Travis Etienne is trying to get revived because you traded away Tank, and the defense bad. So I really don't know. It's growing pains, I guess, being a new team, being a brand new head coach. It gives me a little bit of vibes like the Bears as well. They just got their first win, though, so it can't be that exactly like that. But Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence need to get on the same page because I agree. Trevor Lawrence has tons of talent. He just needs to fit Liam Cohen's system and somehow gel.
Yo, did we rank? Like, hold on. Did we rank Cam Ward over Caleb Williams in a
Yes, you did.
Yes.
You did. Kyler, T-Law, Cam, Caleb. Yeah.
I was doing it to be hot takey. I'm still keeping it. Like,
I'm not offended by that. I didn't. I forgot. I didn't know I did that. I'm not gonna lie. So Q, you can keep that. I would say just for the TikTok purposes. So I'm gonna go Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence,
he's scared.
Caleb Williams, Cameron Ward, and
Bryce.
Yeah, Cameron Ward is crazy.
That's not his name. Cameron Ward.
You do not know that, man.
Anyways, back to what I was saying though. Or no, Q, Jax. I think you had them. Did you know how to win the division?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, they ain't looking too hot right now.
I either had them win the division or had them in the playoffs. Either because I'm pretty sure I have Houston still in the playoffs also. But yeah, I disagree. I don't think the offense looks bad. I think Trevor Lawrence is actually holding the offense back. Can't get a connection over to BTJ. There's also a thing going around that BTJ is scared to go over the middle. I don't know how true that is. I got to go back and look over it. But he can't connect with them. The running back situation actually has been good. Like between Etienne and Tuen, they've actually been toting that thing. So they have something to lean on, especially in a game like this where all you got to do is not mess up, run the ball, run the clock out. You could get out this game easily. They also took some chances on fourth down in field goal range instead of kicking the field goal. They kick one or two of those, they win the game. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, he has some accuracy issues. Sometimes placing the ball where he places the ball. They also have, as of right now, a bust at wide receiver and a bust at cornerback. They spent a first round pick on a corner and a first round pick on a wide receiver, and he has not pretty much shown up at all. Like the six receptions for 30 yards isn't much. Couple tackles, one pass breakup. That's not the type of production you need from a guy that you basically spent 2 first-round picks on. Like, because that's what they did. And they're not getting nowhere near close to that type of value from Travis Hunter. Obviously, it's still week 2. He could get better, but as of right now, it's just not looking good. And then we kind of expected it to be so. So they're not really getting contribution from supposedly their main characters aren't really doing it. It's the side characters of Devin Lloyd, Travis Etienne, Brayshaw too, who's like a 5th-round pick. Like, it's everybody else doing their job except for basically your 3 main guys on offense, and then a bunch of your defense. They hoop today, and you still couldn't get them a win. So I think it's on Trevor Lawrence to like right the ship because he's the one that's driving this whole thing.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. We talked about this last week, or like I think like week 1 or something like that, where it's like you're not with the same value. I bet gives my friend that Travis Hunter won't get 1,000 yards. So I'm pretty like I don't think he's gonna be that great of a receiver year 1 at least. You got to pick a side. But yeah, Jags not looking great whatsoever. Their defense isn't looking great. Offense not looking great. And I don't think Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence are on the same page. It was that viral clip of them having that little like petty disagreement on the sideline. That was pretty weird. All right, last. So I know Max got something else.
I was gonna say, let me. It's semi-relevant, so let me do my other one. Let me do my other TikTok. All right. Cue camera on quick.
My bad, boss.
No, it's all good. So let's put our fantasy football hats on right now. Let's think fantasy for the rest of this fantasy football season. We're gonna blind rank these 5 receivers of who you would want on your fantasy football team going forward. All right. So 5,
Mhm.
I'll say top end, but 5 top 25, I think, fantasy receivers. You have to tell me who you want on your football team going forward. So not necessarily the best guy in the world. Again, that's where people get confused. Fantasy does not equal you're better. That's not what it is. But as far as production, as far as situation, it all matters. So why it's relevant, the first name is Brian Thomas Jr.
Out of
Very
5,
slow. Very, out of 5, very slow start. But
3.
3, 3, 3. Okay. Let me make sure I got it up. I have BTJ in a lot of my leagues, and I like BTJ, but very slow start. But obviously, production is still there if they can gel with Liam Cohen. The second name is Mr. 40 points today, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
2.
2.
You guys think they found their footing? You think they'll continue to?
Hall of Famer.
The next name up is Puka Nacua.
1. You got to promote 1. We got to promote 1. We're probably not gonna get better than Puka Nacua. I'm probably.
There's a lot of good names. I said they're all top 25. There's a lot of good
It's
names.
not that he's not a good player. He's
Oh,
also
Puka's a
an
great player.
injury risk.
Calm down.
Huh?
Puka's a great player. Puka's a great
Sure,
player.
sure. That doesn't matter. He also gets injured a lot.
It's fair. You can have that outlook. I agree. That's fair.
That's the only reason why I'm like, but sure, we could put him
Who
out.
knows what else I have on here with more injuries or less injuries?
We're putting on 1. I think 1 is safe. Honestly, it's probably better than 4.
All right. So
Could
you
be
have Puka
wrong.
1, Amon-Ra 2, BTJ 3. At number 4, you have Nico Collins.
I'm fine with that.
5.
5. Wait. Yeah,
Also,
we put him 5.
injury risk.
5. I'm cool with 5.
All right. It was a big day for fantasy scoring today. A lot of points on the board, especially in the receiver position. But I think Amon-Ra had the most points on the day. But the last name up, I believe, was second. So your rankings for fantasy football receivers, your blind ranking 2025-26 season for fantasy football receivers going forward. At number 1, Puka. At number 2, Amon-Ra. Number 3, BTJ. You put Malik Neighbors at number 4 and Nico Collins at number 5.
That's pretty perfect. I mean, Neighbors might be.
I'm taking
Neighbors, BTJ, Nico.
I'm taking Malik.
Neighbors would be better than BTJ, but honestly, that's pretty good.
You can argue about the rest.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, yeah, Neighbors went crazy today. He actually lost me. He literally beat me today. Like
your game is not over. No, you're freaking out. Your game's not over, bro.
No, I lost, bro. It's over. But it's cool, bro. It's really Cowboys defense, bro. They want me money, so I don't care. But
who do you have tomorrow? What's the competition? You have someone, and your opponent's got someone too. You definitely did. You have Brock. You have Brock, Herbert, and defense. That's what it was.
Yeah, Brock, Herbert, and defense.
Yeah,
that's what I man.
All right, last topic.
I need to trade for another wide receiver, honestly.
Last topic.
Huh?
Holla at me. We'll
talk about this. All right. Colts walk-off win, started season 2-0. We're gonna talk about we can talk about the Broncos a little bit as well. You guys want to?
Can we touch on that second question first, so we can just shoot that out of the air right now?
Yeah, no. I need one of y'all to answer both, whatever, so we can.
Q's the Colts. Q is the resident Colts fan, apparently. So just keep on with that.
I'm gonna open up the question to the panel, or you guys. Has Daniel Jones already proven Shane Steichen right?
100% yes. 100%. And it's not that Daniel Jones is a world beater. It's just that Anthony Richardson literally couldn't do the easy things. And Daniel Jones, at every point of his life playing football, was always better than Anthony Richardson. And that says a lot more about Anthony Richardson. Daniel Jones can do the easy things. The roster, the Colts have a very good roster. They don't have the elites, but they have everybody. They have very goods. They have a very good wide receiver room. They have a very good D line. They have a very good linebacking core. They have decent corners, decent safeties, very good O-line. They just very good running back. Just need a quarterback. Daniel Jones isn't the quarterback, but he's just that much better than Anthony Richardson that it allows the offense to function just average. Lou Anarumo as DC gives them a much better chance than whoever they had before. I forgot his name already. But that's enough to keep them in games. And you got good coaching from Shane Steichen. That's a very good play caller. He didn't all of a sudden become bad. Anthony Richardson was just holding him back. Joe Flacco holding him back. Like we've seen him do it with Gardner Minshew also. Like they can win games. I'm not saying they're gonna make the playoffs or anything, but like I said at the start, they're not gonna be some.
They win the division.
I'm not saying that, but I knew they weren't gonna be some 4-win team.
They 2-0. They 2-0 right now. They 2-0.
If you look at their schedule, if they look at their schedule, you could based on how they played, you could probably count out 5-6 more wins at least. Like I just knew they weren't going to be a 4-win team. Like I always thought the idea of that was nonsense, and I said as much. Like
I don't know what that was.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh no, that was. He's not saying it wasn't. Yeah, that was definitely me.
Yeah.
No one's disagreeing with that. No, it was me. It was me. It was me.
Like both guys. Actually, now you're trying to escape criticism, but you also thought this was going to be one of the
claim it was
top
easy
5
me.
type team.
I think I might have said it. You might agree with me.
I would say they won 4 games. I did not say they won 4 games. I did not say that. I did not say that. You can go back and look. I did not say that. No, I did not.
I'm gonna definitely go back and look. But like I said, I always thought that was nonsense. You couldn't look at the roster and be like, yeah, that's a 4-win team when we saw them win 8 games with Gardner Minshew. Like we saw that happen. Like James Jones is better than Gardner Minshew. And the schedule was always going to be a third or fourth place schedule. Like they're too talented to win less games. The only reason why they had that high pick to go get Anthony Richardson because they didn't have Shane Steichen. They had what's the center that played for them with Peyton Manning? Jeff Saturday head coach and Matt Ryan who couldn't move. Like that's the only reason why they won 4 games that year. Like other than that, they pretty much been a perennial playoff team or somewhere hovering around 8-9 wins. Like that's just who the Colts are. They're not like a bad team.
Okay.
Daniel Jones is not. We're not going to start this Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold thing. He is not that. That's not happening. I'm sorry. Shane Steichen again.
Daniel Jones was better than Geno Smith and Sam Darnold before.
That's fine. I'm just saying, like I will not see. I don't think Daniel Jones ever gets to the point where Baker Mayfield's at now.
Doesn't have to be.
That's what I just said. I just said he won't get to that point.
He don't need to be for this team for
I'm not saying that
his career.
I'm not necessarily saying like my thing is I don't know if he fits in many other systems at all. Like that's where it's like he's strict to this system with Shane Steichen with the running attack they pose. Like I'm not thinking that he's going like people took a shot on Sam Darnold. Huh?
Why is he strict to this system?
Because I don't. Again, it's 2 games. I don't believe he's a very good thrower of the football. I don't think he's a very good thrower of the football. Based off the last couple of years in the Giants, and again, maybe I'm being delusional, but no, I don't think he's a very good thrower of the football. I think he's supposed to be.
I don't think you're really paying attention to what they were doing. You don't have to be a very good thrower of the football to throw 5-yard outs. Like
sure, but I'm saying like I don't think a lot of NFL systems
he's
are
doing more than that. His deep ball,
but the basis of their system is short, quick time throws, which he can do in the short and intermediate.
You're saying the Colts. You're saying the Colts.
Yes, he's always been able to do that.
I'm not fighting you on the Colts.
This is a different system when he was playing with Dayball. Like now, he's played in multiple different systems. He's hit on 2 different. I'm not gonna say this is a hit. That's crazy to say.
Okay.
He definitely played well in one, and he's played well so far 2 games into this one with a lot of talent. Same thing Baker's the high end of this new resurrection thing. He doesn't have to hit Baker. If he hits around what Sam Darnold did last year, that's fine. Like that's
sure for this team. I agree, it's fine. But like, yeah, I put in this world where it's like, no, they could go out and win football games, but like I'm giving more credit to Shane Steichen and the team built around him. Like is with JJ right now. What I'm seeing from JJ, they won that football game against the Bears, and the Bears suck. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to point for this. I give that more towards like again. I don't think JJ is a very talented thrower of the football at all. right? Like I don't think he's like this super talented quarterback right now. I give more credit to the scheme, like everything. Like there are more other parts of the team that I feel like I'm giving credit to. Maybe I'm hating in that regard, but like I feel like there were games with Sam Darnold, right, where they won the game. He didn't play exceptional. They won the game great. Geno, when he was playing with Seattle, I thought there were times where Geno would go out and win the football game, right? The roster was not superbly talented around Geno, but Geno had a couple great throws, and I'll put Baker in the same conversation as that. I just look at watching Daniel Jones play in that situation. Again, there are some good plays here and there, but I give more credit to, again, my misjudgment, whatever, of the team in the situation, not the quarterback position, if that makes sense.
I just don't think that matters that much.
I don't think he won't be Geno or like he won't be Geno, Sam Darnold, those type of guys, but or Baker. He'll be Ryan Tannehill though, for sure. Ryan
Ryan
Tannehill.
Tannehill, Pro Bowler, #1 seed. Like,
Yep.
like playoff bye. Like that's fine.
Yeah. AFC Championship appearance. That's if like though the team is built around him like that. Like, they obviously had great defense, Derrick Henry, that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think every time I watch Daniel Jones, it just reminds me like, damn, Anthony Richardson isn't that bad. Like he's that bad. I didn't think highly of Daniel Jones whatsoever. I don't think he was a good quarterback whatsoever. I don't think he was a. I thought Daniel Jones was a backup before this year, and I think his time in Minnesota, sitting and watching Sam Darnold play and watching Kevin O'Connell and being in a good organization with good coaching has definitely helped him. He even said it himself that it taught him how to win. But Shane Steichen is working wonders with him, making things really easy. And he has made some high level throws, like especially one of his biggest weaknesses was his deep ball. And you saw it last year with Malik Neighbors. But he has really hit on the deep balls with Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce this year. And he's been able to make the easy reads. They have a really good running back in Jonathan Taylor. They have a good offensive line, and they have a defense that's playing situational football right now. So I think the Colts are much better than what we thought. The first week I thought it was like the Dolphins are ass. So I'm like, okay, they beat the Dolphins, which the Dolphins are bad. But when they beat the Denver Broncos, who I don't think that highly up either, but they put up 30 points on their defense. So that is something I look at and like, wow, that's pretty good. John Taylor had a day. But Daniel Jones was, again, pretty good. So I'm not going to jump out here and say he's resurrected his career. But like I said, I never thought Shane Steichen was wrong for benching Anthony Richardson. I thought the Colts organization made a mistake benching him because they invested so much capital into him. Shane Steichen has to fight for his career, his tenure. And like I said, it was a higher chance that he could make Daniel Jones look good and resurrect his career than getting Anthony Richardson to look good because he can't do the simple things. And Daniel Jones can at least do the simple things in a very micromanaged role. And that's what's pretty much what's been going on so far. I do agree with Max though that like I think that he's not gonna be the sole reason they win the games. But that was few and far between for Sam Darnold. And well, no, Geno was willing to wins. But Q.
This is the second time that Shane Steichen has pretty much outcoached Sean Payton. Last year they only lost because Jonathan Taylor did some dumb shit and dropped the ball before getting to the end zone. And this year, same thing. Like this is not the team that, like, this can't be the Denver Broncos that Sean Payton was telling us about. This can't be the Denver Broncos that all the people on the internet and the media said could win the AFC West and potentially go to the Super Bowl. This can't be that same Broncos team. Bo Nix can't be the Bo Nix that people said was in for, like, gonna be like better than Caleb Williams and all them and probably battle J&J. Like, this can't be that Denver Broncos team that was getting hyped up all season. Like, it just cannot be. To being a tug of war, damn near lose the game to the Titans. If Brandon Callahan was a better coach and had better situational awareness, they lose to the Titans, and they lose today. Will Lutz missed a field goal. Bo Nix trying to prove that he's a guy. A whole lot of nonsense. Sean Payton trying to get clever. Like, this can't be that Denver Broncos team. Like, they're clearly not going to make the play. Like, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They can't. Like, no way.
Yeah, we got flack for saying that Denver Broncos one that went crazy.
Yeah, none of us believe in Denver.
Yeah, none of us believe in Denver, rightly so. We're gonna see how their season goes, but yeah, and unfortunately, they can't get another quarterback because the 2027 draft class looks terrible. Yeah, but yeah, Denver. As far as Denver though, defense did not nearly look as good. They were able to get ran on a lot today, and then the Colts were able to do play action. I think Bo Nix, he had that one interception. That was a pretty bad read. But he didn't look terrible today. I think he looked bad in week 1 against the Texans. I mean, no, the Titans. But he looked better today. But not spectacular whatsoever. 3 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 206 yards. 123 yards after the catch. But yeah, I think a lot of stuff has been schemed up open for him, and he's been able to hit the easy reads, so they hit the layups. We not high on Bo Nix whatsoever. But yeah, the Broncos, I didn't think they were gonna make the playoffs. Their defense is gonna be really good. Their offense didn't markedly improve to be honest, and I always had that belief. They beat bad quarterbacks last year. We'll see how their season goes, but Max, you did your 2. What's up?
Got my 2. We're done.
Okay.
That sounds good.
It is 11:33. I have class in the morning at 9:00.
12:33 here, and I got at 8 a.m. So
damn, that's fucked up.
Try to tell you this. Try to tell you this, man.
That's gonna do it, man. That's gonna do it for episode 151, week 2 recap. Hopefully the Bears can get a win, so my boy Max can get a smile on his face.
Ain't gonna happen. Honestly, when is it? What do we have? It's
Wait, let's actually look at the Bears
schedule.
schedule.
Crazy. It could, and this is just delusion again. Could be next week. We'll see.
They're winning next week, bro.
Yeah, could be next week.
But wait, are we sure they beat the Cowboys? I don't know why we're sure they beat the Cowboys.
I didn't see that. I was just talking. Hey, Matt said they beating the Cowboys, so they beating the Cowboys.
Yeah, after what I saw for the last 2 weeks, though, I don't even know anymore.
Cowboys defense looked terrible today. Got 400 yards off, 500 yards of offense on the Giants.
If the Bears beat them, how much are we taking stock into that? Because we know the Cowboys defense is trash.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson threw 500 yards on them. Like, yeah, if we win, it's definitely with a little asterisk on it.
Yeah, Caleb should be putting up 600, bro.
Yeah.
But
according to Latif, Cam Ward should put up 7. So
I actually redid my list. So yeah. But anyways, that's gonna do it for episode 151. I think, or 152, one of those. Yeah, lay off. Yep, tired.